Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Let's look into the first question. Consider the following statements with respect to coral reefs. They are generally confined to tropical and semi-tropical waters. They are found in the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Ocean. Coral reefs have declined by over half since 1950s as they suffer from the effects of climate change and overfishing. How many of the above statements are incorrect? The question is asking for the incorrect statement, which means the answer to this is none. Why? That is because all the three statements that have been given here are right statements. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to coral reefs, which is why we have taken this practice question. Let us try and understand what are these statements. When you look into the first statement, they are generally confined to tropical and semi-tropical waters. Yes, this statement is right. This basically means most of these coral reefs are found near the equator, that is between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. They are also present in the temperate regions as well, but most of it are only present in the tropics, which means between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. But there are exemptions, which means there are few which are also available and are also found in the temperate regions. So the first statement is right. So if you have a statement which says that tropical regions are the ones which host the coral reefs. Temperate regions also host the coral reefs. This statement is also right because few of them are also found in the temperate regions. When you look into the second statement, they are found in the Atlantic, Pacific and the Indian Ocean. Yes, they are found in the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Ocean between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The second statement is also right. And because of climate change, what we have seen is massive decrease of the coral reefs because of the climate change and overfishing. So this article also goes on to say that because of overfishing that has been initiated by the human beings in all these regions where the coral reefs are present, what we have witnessed is drop in the reef sharks as well. So what are the factors affecting the coral reef? Extreme climatic conditions, overfishing, coastal development, pollution, sedimentation. These are the effects which impact the coral reefs. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements with respect to Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. France is one of the founding members of AIIB. China is the biggest contributor to the AIIB and therefore has the largest single oat share, followed by Russia. It is headquartered in Shanghai. The bank allows non-sovereign entities to apply for membership provided their home countries are members. How many of the above statements are correct? The answer to this is only two statements. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which is why we have taken this practice question. Let us try and understand what are these statements. When you look into the first statement, France is one of the founding members of AIIB. There are as many as 57 members which are part of the AIIB. Initially, when it was formed, there were many countries which had become the founding members of AIIB. In that, what we have is some of the Western countries like France, Germany, so on and so forth. So the first statement is right. When you look into the second statement is wrong. Why? Because yes, the first part is right. China is the biggest contributor to the AIIB and happens to be the largest single oat share, but then it is followed not by Russia, but instead it is by India. So it is not Russia, but the second largest happens to be India. So what is the relationship between India and AIB? When it comes to India, India is the second largest shareholder in the bank, only next to China. India is the largest beneficiary of AIIB as well. In fact, it takes a lot of finances for its infrastructural projects, and these projects in India are based on different sectors. Let's say, for example, energy, water, transport, so on and so forth. So the money that it takes from AIIB is ultimately used for infrastructural development in India. So India has the second largest sharehold in this bank, only next to China. The third statement reads, it is headquartered in Shanghai. This statement is also wrong. Why? Because it is headquartered in Beijing and not in Shanghai. The fourth statement is right. The bank allows non-sovereign entities to apply for membership only on a condition that it is this particular country which is also a member of the AIIB. Let's look at some of the important facts with respect to AIIB. It is a development bank with a mission to improve the economic and social outcomes in Asia Pacific region. Starting with 57 founding members, the bank now has 103 approved members. The bank allows non-sovereign entities. So what we have is the board of governors of the bank consists of a governor and an alternative governor of each member country. The board is the highest decision making body of the AIB. So it basically has the board of directors, senior management and the international advisory panel as its composition. The majority of the bank's operation are in the Asian continent. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements. They are a Dravidian ethnic group inhabiting the states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. The main occupation of this tribe has been snake, rat catching and honey collection. The above statements best describe Irulas, Kotas, Kurumbas, Todas. The answer to this is Irulas. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to Irulas. Who are these Irulas? They happen to be one of the Dravidian tribe. They are present in the state of Tamil Nadu, Kerala as well as in Karnataka. They speak one of the languages called as Irula. This also belongs to the Dravidian family of languages. So when we speak about Irular, it basically means dark people in Tamil and Malayalam from the very word called as Irul, which means darkness. So what is the unique feature of this particular tribe? They are known for catching of snakes. In this particular area, wherever they are living, there is also a large number of rats as well. So they are known for catching the snakes. They are known for rat catching as well. And ultimately, they are also known for honey collection. Apart from this unique thing that they carry, they also work in fields for the landlords. They also work as coolies as well. And they are also working as agricultural laborers for their landlords in all those areas that they are located. They also have vast knowledge when it comes to the urban medicine. They also know what is the diet that has to be followed, and they also have number of movies that are directed because of this unique feature as well as this rat catching ability. So recently we also had one of the movies which also became a major hit, and that happens to be Jai Bhim, and that is based on this Irulas as well. So remember, Irulas are one of the tribes that are present in the state of Tamil Nadu, Kerala as well as Karnataka. Their main occupation is snake, rat catching and honey collection. This article further makes a reference to couple of other tribes as well. Which are these? It includes the Kotas, the Kurumbas, then we also have Todas, so on and so forth. So what are their main occupations is what you have to put on the comment section. The article further makes a mention to sacred spaces. What are these sacred spaces? The conical temple that we have is called as the Moonbu. It is the place where all the members of the clan gather at the end of the year for the new year. The festival begins with the dance. Only the priest enters the moonbu. Toda buffalo milk is used for the purpose of the temple. The ghee made from the milk is used in the light lamps as well. This further makes a reference to what is called as Tivamana, which translates as God's house. It is thatched hut that is cleaned every day and a lamp is lit in the evening as well. These are some of the sacred spaces of these tribes as well. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statement. Sepsis is a life-threatening condition that arises when the body's response to infection causes injury to its own tissues and organs. Sepsis is caused by bacteria only. Which of the statements given above are correct? The answer to this is one only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because of the reference in the Indian Express article. So this article on the Indian Express makes a reference to sepsis. Sepsis happens to be a life-threatening bloodstream infection. Every year, millions of people suffer from it. What exactly happens? When it comes to sepsis, it is our body's mechanism basically to fight the infection. Instead of fighting the infection, if it becomes a problem in itself, that instead of fighting the infection, it starts acting against the body tissue as well as cells. That is what is called as sepsis. So basically, it is a life-threatening condition that arises when the body's response to the infection causes injury to our own tissues as well as other organs. What are the symptoms that are included? Basically, when the body starts infecting our own tissues as well as cells, this can result in fever, increased heart rate, increased beating rate, confusion, so on and so forth. So faster heart rate, low blood pressure, fever of hypothermia, shaking or chills, warm or clammy sweaty skin, confusion or disorientation, shortness of breath, sepsis rash, extreme pain or discomfort are some of the symptoms that are associated with it. When you look into the second statement, it is caused by bacteria only. No, it can also be caused by bacteria, viruses, fungi as well. So fungal, parasitic and viral infections also have the potential of causing sepsis causes as well. And ultimately it means that it infects all sex of people, but more number of people who are impacted would be people who are age old, that is who are above 60 years of age, and in case you do not have much of immunity, they are suffering from other issues and other ailments. Then there are babies and there are infants. These people can be infected, and ultimately people who are in hospital for various medical reasons can be impacted by sepsis. Is sepsis contagious? The answer to this is no. One would not be able to spread sepsis to other people. However, an infection can lead to sepsis, and you can spread some infections to other people as well. Now let's look into the next practice question. Among the following, who are eligible to benefit from the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act? Adult members of only scheduled caste and scheduled tribe households, adult members of below poverty line households, adult members of households of all backward communities, adult members of any household. The answer to this is D, which is adult members of any household. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2011. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is microplastics. What are these microplastics? Microplastics are small plastic particles that are present in the environment. So basically all those plastic that measure less than 5 millimeters are called as the microplastic. So anything which measure less than 5 millimeter, that is what is called as microplastic. This can be broadly broken down into two parts. One is what is called as the primary microplastic. The second is what is called as the secondary microplastic. What is this primary microplastic? Microplastics that are primary in nature are used in plastic manufacturing intentionally. So when these plastics are used, manufactured directly, they are created intentionally. That is what is called as primary microplastics. So those manufacturing units, we have different manufacturing unit, we have different industries, they create such microplastics on their own with an intentional purpose. That is what is called as primary microplastics. Then what we have is the secondary ones. What are these secondary ones? These are huge plastic, but due to wear and tear and due to couple of other actions that have been taken for couple of years and over a period of time, the plastic which is present is broken down by multiple actions over a period of time, which is called a secondary microplastic. So this happens to be a consequence of time, and it is not intentional in nature. When it comes to primary, it is intentional, but when it comes to secondary, it is not intentional. What happens with the microplastic? There are a couple of concerns that are associated with the microplastics. What are these? One, we all have those filtering agencies. These filtering agencies, what do? They start collecting the solid waste. They also start collecting the plastic waste, so on and so forth. So what they also have is a filter system as well. In case there is plastic, the plastic will not be able to go through this particular system, and ultimately they are separated, segregated, recycled, so on and so forth. But what if this filtering system is not able to stop the microplastic? Because it is less than 5 millimeter, it would be able to pass through this filtering system and ultimately pollutes the system. And the same water is also let into the rivers as well. The same water is also let into the oceans as well. And when it is not filtered, these rivers and oceans are ultimately polluted. The same water is also ingested by other aquatic species, and when they are ingested, these species die as well, because their system gets clogged. So the microplastics will not be filtered by the filtering agencies, and ultimately they are dumped into the rivers and the oceans. This ultimately kills all the aquatic ecosystem. Due to unregulated production and usage of these microplastics, it will also result in water pollution across the world. Water treatment facility will not be able to remove them, and ultimately when these species like the fishes which consume the microplastics are eaten by the human beings, it will also hurt the human beings, and this will have a health impact on them as well. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this topic. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.